Hey everyone, today is Thursday, the 30th of January 2020, and this is a Gap episode 501, kind of like the Star Wars Legion. My name is Luke Lawrie. Joab Gilroy is here. Would you agree?
I am here.
501?
501st Legion?
Yeah.
So what were you watching? Oh yeah, fucking Mandalorian, right? Mandalorian roped in the 501st Legion in the area
Nice.
to help them fill out bodies for the final two, or the split final episode.
The big fight, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
pretty cool.
fucking sick, isn't it?
Did they have to bring their own their own costumes?
I think they did. I think they actually did. But because 501st Legion has all those rules about like the accuracy and whatever, I think they were fine, which is fucking crazy, right? That's fucking amazing. Yeah, that's pretty sick. Mandalorian started off bad, but came good in the end.
Oh, I think there was like 2 episodes in there that I didn't like. Like sort of,
Yeah.
they felt like
1 and 2. No, 1 and 3. I think it was 1 and 3.
There was a couple in there. I think the one you're talking about, it's sort of like a setup episode where not really a lot happens, but it's just introducing new characters and like the Gina Carano character and all that sort of stuff.
That episode is a fucking it's so bad, except for how much the villager chick wants to fuck Mando. She is gushing. She's just fucking splooshing everywhere for him. She's fucking horny as fuck.
What if he said, yes, I'm staying? Would that just have to be in the end of the series? Like,
end of the series.
3 episodes and they're like, well,
Jon Favreau is in the background there like, what the fuck? You can't just stay, you fuck. Yeah. Luckily he didn't stay. That would have been pretty dull.
It would have been.
But
yeah.
After that episode, it got good again. Clancy Brown showed up, and that's when you knew everything was going to be okay.
Right.
Clancy Brown may not exclusively appear in good things, you know? Like, he's been in some dog shit stuff, but he's always good in them. He's always great.
He's always bringing it.
Point. Detroit Become Human.
He was the best thing about that game, or the best.
He was the best thing about that fucking game.
Actually, most of the acting was pretty good in that game. The new Matrix film, Matrix 4, I think the title they're going for, is filming apparently in San Francisco, and they put like a casting call out for extras.
You're going, right? You're doing it, right?
I can't. I'm not allowed
You got to do it.
I don't have a work visa yet, so just still waiting.
Go. Just
work for free.
Just put your name down as fucking Keanu. Maybe you're not like. Maybe if they knew this was coming, and they're like, "Oh no, Keanu's next Soul Vessel is in the city, and we're supposed to be filming here. Delay his work visa so that he cannot run into Keanu by accident."
I could be stunt double.
Set. You could be. Yeah, that'd be good.
There you go.
You should do it. Yes. Anyway, I definitely
to film.
You gotta fucking
TV.
When they do the twins scene, you can be Keanu's twin. That'll work really well. I could have been in the fucking original Matrix as one of the twins, but you know, I was 14 and 14, 15, 99. And they would have shot the year before, so 98. So I would have been 15. Yeah. Yeah. Missed out on that. Thanks for nothing.
You dodged that bullet.
Yeah, me and Will Smith both dodged that bullet.
And Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt?
Yeah, Brad Pitt recently said that he got offered the role and turned it down.
Why would he turn it down?
I think it's not like he said he didn't get it.
Right. But he got 12 Monkeys? Because I saw the finished fucking product of 12 Monkeys and I didn't get it for fucking years. So
I had to watch that 3 times.
Yeah, exactly. Motherfucker. Keanu was amazing. Yeah. Yep. I see you're wearing a Lakers shirt. Some sad news. Obviously, everyone who listens to this podcast knows that we watch quite a bit of basketball. Some of us watch a lot more than others, but Yeah, yeah, fucking Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter crash earlier this week, and that was pretty fucking rough. I feel so fucking awful for his family, and little Gigi was with him as well, and all the other people in the helicopter who died. That's fucking terrible. Helicopters are fucking dangerous, man. They don't fuck around. Like they're very tricky to fucking handle, and I guess yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to point that out. It's obviously very sad. You were a massive Kobe fan and a Lakers fan for a long time. I'm a massive bandwagon fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you like? You told me, you messaged me in the early hours of, I think it was fucking Monday morning. I wake up and I'm like, it's like my brain went through like fucking, is this some sort of fucking bullshit? Is this some sort of joke? Why would he joke about this? And then fucking wait, he's been awake for long enough to have hunted this down, confirmed it. So I assume this is real. And yeah, it was a messed up way to wake up. But I assume it was an even worse way to just go through your day. Yeah.
Yeah, I was it was about 11:30 here. I think it was about 11:30. And I was in my wardrobe putting a shirt on or something like that. 11:30 in the morning. And my wife got a phone call, and she basically like didn't really hear what was going on, but about 10 seconds later she ran over to me and she's like, I don't know how you're gonna take this, but the news is saying Kobe just died. And I was like, what? So I like basically went straight to my computer and looked it up, and at that stage it was just TMZ that were reporting it. Like 4 minutes after they put the post up, it was kind of, I was reading it, and there was some messages on social media talking about it, and yeah, I didn't know what to think. I guess in a bit of shock, but also maybe denial as well at the same time, of thinking that maybe they're wrong because it was just them saying it. And then everybody else started saying that there was a helicopter crash, but not really who was involved. And then about 15 minutes later, some of the other sites were saying there's reports that he was on it, but not really, they still hadn't confirmed it.
Yep.
And then about 5 minutes after that, and at this stage, I'm like, I was basically trying to read up on it, see what's going on. At that stage, they were saying it was the same like model helicopter that he flies in. And so I didn't know if like TMZ was just putting pieces together, if somebody had told them, or if they were just guessing because it was his plane and they weren't sure even if he was on it. But yeah, they were CNN, because I watch a lot of news here. CNN, we had CNN on, and they were talking about the impeachment trial, because that's all they talk about here on the news these days.
Yep.
And then they cut to the someone reporting on it, and as that was happening, I was like telling my wife, like, it's the same plane as Kobe's. Like, I'm sure there's not many planes like that in that area, so like it could be true. The CNN report finished. They didn't mention anything about like Kobe at all, and about 2 minutes later, when I was back on the computer, a bunch of sites, like almost the same time as each other, started posting like, it's confirmed that he was on the plane. Like ABC News and Variety and LA Times, like everyone within a couple of moments. And then they went back to CNN about 2 minutes later saying that they've just confirmed he was on the plane, or the helicopter. And yeah, that was it. Yeah, pretty sad news. I was basically stuck in front of the computer and TV for hours after that. We eventually got out of the house about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, about 4 hours later, just try and get away from it all, because it was literally everywhere. Like I could hear people outside talking about it from like where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a massive deal. Social media, it was all over social media. And so just getting away for a couple hours is probably a good thing. And obviously watch like a lot of basketball, and at that stage, people weren't really sure what was going on. Like with the games, there was that famous scene now of like Doc Rivers talking about it and just bawling his eyes out, talking about how he's got a game to play in an hour. Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, all the teams doing tributes and the 24-second shot violation and the 8-second half court violation, and yeah, having to watch all that stuff was really impactful. And it was just like I watch a lot of like mainly watch news around here, and sports. They like the Donald Trump impeachment stuff has been on every day since I moved here, basically, or since that stuff happened. And they stopped reporting on that, like, flat out. It was just Kobe for the next. It's still going. Like we got back the next day, and you'd flick on the TV, and it's just still him on the TV constantly. Same thing with ESPN. They basically canceled all of their regular programs, and it was just talking to other players and analysts and watching like them trying to commentate games and just being super emotional and crying during that stuff. Like it was hard to watch a lot of that. So yeah, it's still like the first day was kind of a bit rough, but the second day was definitely the day that it kind of started to sink in a lot more. Pretty emotional that day, but for the most part, like it's been a really cool sort of everybody supporting and that sort of stuff. So like the stuff with Shaq was just heart shattering.
Oh yeah, real rough. That dude is not doing well.
Because he's just not gotten over, but recently his sister passed away, and now this. And he's been talking about like he wants to change his life, the way he lives his life at the moment, start talking to people more and things like that. So it's pretty
squash beefs and just like tell everyone he loves them.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened with Kevin Durant and Kendrick Perkins. Like he reached out to him immediately. It's like, sorry about like our beef and all that sort of stuff, and it's really had a massive impact on a lot of people, because it's not something that's happened before. Like a massive sports star that has passed away so unexpectedly and so soon.
Like I think people on this level have passed away before, but in their time, as they say, and I think the shock and suddenness of this has really, like I don't know, shaken a lot of people up, woken them up to the fact that life is fleeting and unknowable and terrifying in its own peculiar way, and we've got to sort of take every moment that we can, I guess. But yeah, it was it's been a pretty fucking shit week over here as well, mostly because in a very different way, because I don't watch any fucking news, and so instead I just I still don't watch anything. I don't watch anything except for the TV shows that I watch, which at the moment, during the current off season, is the Mike Tyson Mysteries,
right?
And literally nothing else. So because I'm not watching anything else, I've been watching basketball, and tuning into basketball this week has been fucking shit, because you can't escape it, and it is just a reminder. And I came to basketball later than you did, certainly. I mean, you've been in on it for your whole life, and you pretty much got me into it. You and LeBron, but yeah, like the watching Kobe towards the end of his career was like phenomenal to see someone like the Mamba mentality is something else, and it like I genuinely adopted the Mamba mentality in my own life when I approach the things I want to be the fucking best at. And yeah, it like kicked my ass all week. So yeah, it's been a fucking shit week.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I think it's still gonna take a while. Like they're playing again on Friday over here. So they cancelled their next game, which is supposed to be yesterday.
This is so awful. This is so awful. But I draft LeBron first in my fantasy team, and my fantasy team's shit as it is. But yeah, I drafted him first, and they postponed that game. And the Yahoo fucking thing has a stats projection for the week, and I literally went from winning the week against the dude in third to losing the week because they postponed that game. I was like, fucking, why does it have to happen to me?
But that's okay because it's not important at this stage, that stuff. Once it gets towards the end of the season, and
I'm not going to make the fucking playoffs at this rate. Maybe
they'll give an extra game
will put me over, but yeah. I think that only the top 6 get into the playoffs. I was looking at the fucking playoff bracketing, and the top 2 get fucking bye weeks in the first round of the playoffs.
Right, it's a
I'm gonna ask because it's a dumb fucking league.
My thing never works. Never, like every time I set up my teams, like I come back the next day and people are on the bench. I'm like, what the heck is? I don't even know what's going on. Classic Yahoo.
Classic Yahoo. Fucking never ceases to amaze.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it is gonna keep hitting for a while, I think.
Yeah. He was supposed to go to that game on Friday as well.
I saw.
He was told, like, LeBron had talked to him that morning, or Kobe had called LeBron that morning. He was messaging, like, Carmelo, saying, like, I'll see you on Friday. Like, when you start hearing about those stories, it's really, it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Should we?
Anyway, I love you, Luke.
I love you too, Joab. Should we talk about some video games then?
Let's do it.
Should we kick off with the Doom World Tour? I don't know if you saw me write this down.
I did not.
I was listening. I'm a big fan of the Giant Bomb website. I'm a premium subscriber to their site.
Yep.
And they put up some content for Doom. They interviewed Hugo Martin about Doom Eternal, which is coming out very, very soon. And some people might remember last week we talked about an interview with Danny O'Dwyer and NoClip with Hugo Martin. And he was talking about how people that didn't like Doom, the original 2016, or gave it a low score, such as a 7.5, were bad at the game.
Yep. Not at the game. Well, they were bad at the game, but also bad at games.
Right.
Yeah.
And since then, he has now gone on to a second podcast, and he's dropped it to people that gave it a 7 are bad at games. He's going everywhere.
He's going super white. He's just doing the world tour. He's doing the world tour of dragging Joab. I feel like I'm being fucking trolled. I feel like this is on purpose. Like it's, I guess it's flattering in a way that obviously I'm living rent free in his fucking head. But like at this point, he's moved into mine, right? Like why can't we just live in our own heads? because it's objectively not true. I'm not bad at shooters. I said this on Twitter. I was saying this on Twitter because someone was like, "It's weird that you care more that someone said you're bad at shooters than you do care about people saying you're bad at reviews." And I'm like, well, that's because I'm unbelievably secure in my knowledge that I'm very good at fucking reviews. And I'm unbelievably insecure about my capacity to play shooters.
Right.
Because, you know, fucking, I don't know, every time, like, I'm not the best FPS player in the world. I'm good. I'm objectively above average because I've seen average. But, you know, I have spent a lot of time in circles with people who are fucking amazing, like proper amazing. Esports players. Literally played to play, right? Paid to play. Play shooters at the highest fucking level, you know. And yeah. It's got me, right? I'm like, fucking, hey, hold up, maybe I'm not that good at shooters. But then I go through the footage I've got of Doom, and it's literally just me booming cunts. I go through other games, like I look at old highlights of PUBG, and
you were never good at PUBG.
I am missing on, like, my fucking shots aren't hitting as much as they should. It's unbelievably depressing. But then I go and look at, like, I've got footage from the Titanfall 2 review trip, which occurred I think a month after Doom review, and I am fucking destroying. I'm using every single part of that game's, like, fucking. I'm using traversal like wonderfully, and I'm using fucking grappling spectacularly. I'm like popping in and out of stealth to, like, just to get through a little bit of cover, and then fucking pouncing on cunts. And it is a fucking non-stop fucking romp of me shitting on literally the people who are good at shooters because they gave Doom a 10. Literally that. Because Giant Bomb gave it a 10, and I've got footage of me wrecking the fuck out of Giant Bomb in Titanfall 2. And it was like, it wasn't even close. These are like, I've got clips that are literally just me like picking up 7 kills in the space of like 5 seconds, like just shredding cunts. And yeah, like, so it's not like, you can't say I'm bad at shooters. Maybe I'm bad at Doom 2016 in the sense that I didn't play it the correct way, and not playing something the correct way is, I suppose, being bad at it. But you know, like I've said a billion times already, that's not actually my fault. You can't put that on me. That is the fault of the game design. And as I think Danny O'Dwyer attempted to explain on Twitter, you know, what he's trying to say is blah, 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 blah. That excuse worked prior to him going on another fucking podcast and just digging a deeper hole, like just going in further and like reiterating, oh yeah, you know, the guys gave it 7, they're bad at shooters. And I'm like...
Then he brought up his son again.
And he brought it, like, his son is getting dragged as much as I am, right? Like, I want to meet his son. We probably get along well. But I'll be like, damn, your dad doesn't like you, right? Like, we could do like the Big Brother program. I'll be like his big brother or something. You know, I'll take him to fucking... It'll be like that episode where Bart gets a big brother, played by fucking Troy McClure. Phil Hartman, right? And he's like pissed at the idea of what Homer is, and it turns out, he's got a dad the whole time. He just hates his dad, and I'm just taking the ball games and shit. Not ball games. I don't want to watch baseball, but like, I don't know, we'll play Fortnite together or something. I don't want to do that either. Fuck them. Anyway, it was pretty wild, and because I'm insecure about my capacity to play shooters, I went and grabbed a game called Aim Hero to A, practice, and B, find some sort of internal validation about whether or not I am good at shooters or not. And I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad. I've got good reflexes and good fucking target acquisition. Maybe I've got some bad spray control, but I'm not that bad. Fuck that shit. That's fucking dumb. Anyway, Aim Hero is pretty interesting. I'd love like some online leaderboards, but it might be detrimental to the purpose of it. It's basically this like just target. It's like target shooting essentially, but the targets move in randomized ways, so that you have to actually acquire the target in like different ways all the time. And yeah, like I think it's not good for ADS shooters because it doesn't really. I don't know. It'd be good if it could use the shooting model of specific games and you could tailor it to that.
Right.
But first time I saw it was when I was at the team house for Blank Esports, who, as an entirety, went on to be Team Australia at the Overwatch World Cup. And that was their downtime in between scrims, was they would stay warm playing Aim Hero, and they would just like chatter about it. And I saw someone on our Discord playing it, maybe Frisco, I'm not sure.
Right.
And I'm like, it's particularly weighing on me at this, specific moment in time. So I'll have a squiz, and I can see its use. I think it would be better as a warm-up tool than anything. It doesn't really work for PUBG because PUBG is not really designed that way. Oh, well, it wasn't designed that way. Now it's designed that way. That's the game that PUBG is now, some sort of fucking team deathmatch where you're always in a fight. But prior to the PUBG Corp, completely losing their fucking minds, it was more about positioning and knowledge than it was about moment-to-moment shooting. Although, obviously, moment-to-moment shooting is important. So I don't think it really helps in PUBG, but definitely helped give me a bit of focus and, remind myself that I'm not that bad. My lightning gun skills are actually still top-notch. It's got a fucking lightning gun setting.
All right.
And you've literally just got to keep painting the target while it moves in random ways, and you just got to track on the fucking thing. And it was gratifying to see that I actually got what I thought was a pretty fucking good score at the lightning gun. Like the scores are meaningless because they're only compared to my own scores. So, but I could personally tell that I was tracking the fuck out of that lightning gun shit. So,
Which lightning gun are we using here? Is it true lightning or is it the bending one?
The bend. It was it's Quake 3 style, Quake 3 OSP style, I think.
Yeah. So it's the proper.
I don't know. I think to expand on it, because it's early access, it's only like $3. To expand on it, I think it would be useful to add in the necessity to move and shoot, because it's definitely not a necessity right now. I think that'd be the big one, and shooting models for different games, because obviously they change from game to game, and it's like largely, except for the lightning gun, it's single shot stuff. So there's not a lot of recoil control required. Some burst stuff would be an interesting addition as well.
Right.
To grow the concept, but for now, it's a good one. I think it's like 5-minute rounds. I kept forgetting to fucking look at how long each fucking test was. but they're fucking long, and like shooting. Oh man, I don't know. That's exhausting. Fuck, I'm unfit. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
Have you seen the Nvidia announced earlier this month the at CES, I think it was, the new 360 hertz monitors that they're putting out?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like. I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a point, or there is a point. Maybe we've already reached it where that doesn't matter anymore. Maybe as significantly as like a jump between 60 and 120 or 140.
Well, they're already playing. They're already playing on 240, right? At the big events, they're playing on 240.
Well, I saw a video that Linus, the YouTuber, he does like tech, tech stuff. Yeah, and he did a video with a bunch of game like pro game, like Shroud was on there, and a bunch of other people. But they did the comparison of between like 60, 100, and I think it was 120 or 144, right. And then they didn't do 320. This is or 360. This is way before then. Right. So it was like 240. And huge difference between like 60 and 120. Like they talking about how like the reaction times of them clicking the button and then just completely missing, like saying it felt like I hit him, but just getting nothing. And then they'd have like slow motion cameras behind them set up and showing like actually you missed, like according to the screen you missed. That's just what happened. And then moving to the next one, like the 120, and seeing like a massive difference, like hitting shots and whatnot. But then the jump between that and the next one wasn't like a substantial difference, or it wasn't even affecting them. Some people, like they were getting less hits, or it seemed like it peaked out at that stage. So yeah, I'm wondering if we've sort of hit the cap, like the 140 or 100 whatever, 120 whatever they're using up to 240 is kind of like we're at it. So
I wonder also if perhaps, I haven't seen the video, but I wonder if perhaps they are accustomed to playing at certain hertz, and so there would be more practice at hitting at those timings.
Sure.
And so the leap might have greater diminishing returns until they like adjusted to it.
Right.
You know, like it's like there is a measurable difference. I think the best measurable difference between between that shit is when Gears of War players transferred from PC to console and found they could no longer active reload because the timing at 30 frames per second was no longer the same as what it was at the 60 frames per second that they were used to playing. Like the frame where they normally hit it just didn't exist. And I think that is a fucking huge tell. You know, that's not a question of like that's not practice, right? Obviously, it is muscle memory that determines a lot of fucking active reload stuff. But the frame not existing and therefore it failing, that is not a muscle memory fault. That is the low fidelity fault, right? The game is too low fidelity to account for what they actually did. So it is actively more complicated, more difficult to play on 30 frames per second, right? You like that's a inference you can easily make, and so at higher hertz, you would see more like at high fidelity, the game would become easier, right? If it gets harder on lower, then it would get easier on higher, right? But like you said, there has to be diminishing returns at some point because we're talking about like literally nanoseconds at some point where like there isn't a measurable amount of difference between 240 hertz and 360 or whatever the fuck, right? Like not measurable to anything that we could actually do. I don't think people who can active reload at fucking 360 are suddenly going to be unable to active reload at 240, because the difference in our minds is negligible. I think if we use 30 as our fucking base fucking rate, right, 360 is fucking 12 of those, right? And like, is it 12? Yeah, it is. Fucking yoinks. Like, removing however many, 10? No, it can't be 12. 360, 12, 360, 30, 12. I don't fucking know.
It's like maths podcast.
Right? Removing 4 of those to go from 360 to 120, removing isn't actually going to matter all that much, because the amount of information we can process is limited by our fucking brains. So except for like fucking supercomputers, I don't think 360 to 240 is going to be that big a difference. Not to mention the fucking hardware you would need to run to actually achieve anything like useful at 360. I mean, already you need god tier hardware playing on low end settings, because you don't want to run at 240 frames. You want to run above 240 frames so that you can account for fucking
frame drops.
Frame drops. So that's fucking insane.
And that stuff's possible on games like Counter-Strike that are getting on in terms of age.
Yeah.
But when you're playing the latest Call of Duty or something like that, that is it's hard to get that.
PUBG releases a map that's fucking 10th of the size of their largest map, but refuses to optimize it at all, and so it runs at fucking 70 frames a second. Like, good luck. Anyway, that's some weird shit.
And it just seems like a really niche audience for this like type of hardware, going for a monitor like that, because you're not using that monitor to play Hearthstone or like Underlords. Like it's specifically designed for shooters or like Twitch games at a high level.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sure they sell just fine. They're probably worth a lot of money. It's just I feel like we're gonna get to a point where it's just not going to matter anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say we're already there. I reckon they've created this literally to justify the idea of selling higher end graphics cards.
Yeah.
I don't even feel like that's a conspiracy. I just feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah, and I mean they're trying to make money, right? So,
of course.
All right, what else we got here? Anything else to add about Aim Hero?
No, not really.
Okay, I do remember there's a couple of in the video where they're doing the tests on the different monitors. There's a couple of different like applications they're using to test like reaction times or things like that as well. So that's probably something that people use. All right, what else do we have here? I don't have my notes up. What's about Dota 2? The documentary True Sight was released yesterday, which is in relation to the TI 9 finals, I think it was 2019 anyway, last year, where the grand final match was between Team Liquid and OG, who are two past TI winners. OG having won the year before, and we're going for a back-to-back, and Liquid, was it 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago?
TSO.
Yeah, so it was a pretty big match. It was the first time we're going to see back-to-back, two-time TI winners. And so, it was very exciting. But I've always liked the True Sight documentaries. It's really given you a really good insight into what's happened behind the scenes and what the players are talking about at that given moment of the match or after the match, things like that. I've really enjoyed watching those over the years. I think it's one of the best sort of esports documentaries that have
100%
been produced on a regular basis every year. There's not like a lot of companies that are sort of doing that that thing. I feel like maybe Ubisoft has started exploring that. Like there was something at E3 where they were talking about looking at player profiles and that sort of thing, but they are what Valve is doing with these series, and they do it during the tournaments as well. Like they send a camera crew out to people's houses for a couple of days to follow them around and show them about their city and talk about their families and things like that. So it's sort of not just contained to this grand final match, but it's a process of really good storytelling as well. So I've really enjoyed it. But what's your thoughts on sort of what they've done this year in particular?
I thought this year was not as good as last year's, if I'm being honest.
But is that because of the way it turned out, the actual matches? It was more of a story, it went down to a best of 6, best of 5 last year, right?
Yeah, and there was a clear underdog, and it was TI 8 was like fucking a sports movie, right? Like it was literally a sports movie fucking storyline. And this year it was sort of just, I guess, Rocky 2 or some shit. Like just not necessarily as robust a sports storyline, and so it sort of leaned more in the on the drama, like the relationships, and I think the relationships weren't. It would have been far more interesting if LGD had gotten back, storyline wise, because the rivalry was still there, whereas that rivalry didn't exist, or if EG had gotten up, right? Like that rivalry didn't exist between Kuro and No Tail. Like the only real drama of the storyline was maybe Weeha not wanting to fucking lose again, not wanting to exit, like leave this international, the only grand finals, the only fucking person who's lost in every grand finals he's ever been to. Like a bit harsh, a bit rough, but it's so storyline wise from that alone, I think it was a bit weaker. But they also, I felt like they missed a couple of tricks in. They could have prefaced it a bit better, prefaced the storyline a bit better. I know they try to stick specifically to just the grand finals themselves, but
the journey of how they got there.
Yeah, even a brief lead in on the journey would have been significantly better for the story itself. That said, I still enjoyed it. I love what they do with the graphics to showcase certain things. Monkey King jumping in on the trees in the background when they zoom all the way in, you can see him coming in. That's an animation that they've created, and then
that's done through Source.
Straight back
through Source, they get animators in to help them with that stuff.
It's so good. Yeah. They do it so well.
Through Filmmaker, Source. So people make videos in Source Filmmaker for Source games like Team Fortress and Counter-Strike and Dota. And every year in the TI tournament, they do a Source Filmmaker competition where people can submit their content creations, and then the winners get money out of it and whatnot. So I think they've brought in people to help them do that stuff, which is really cool, and pay them for it.
I know. Well, it pays off.
There's that the shot of Tidehunter jumping into the fight, and all the tentacles are sort of in the air, and people are getting pushed into the the sky. That stuff looks really cool. And the Monkey King jumping through the trees, and I don't remember who it was, but looking behind them type stuff to try and get away. Yeah, that stuff's cool.
I think it was tied again.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Because MC got fucking. I think he got a bit of a rough run as well, because the way they framed it, right, it almost felt like it was his fault, and yet there was nothing he could do. Right? He was constantly I don't think Mind Control played bad in those grand finals, right? I do not think but that's how I feel the documentary played out, right? I guess there has to be fault assigned to someone, right? And yeah, they hit the idea of they're going Tide Hunter again, pretty hard. And like OG literally just played around him, and then like they were literally hunting him down. They were hunting him down constantly. Like he just never had a fucking hope. Which yeah, so I think he got a bit of a rough end out of that one as well. One of the things I noticed was that the sports psychiatrist chick won OG their fucking second TI 1000%. Because I said this in the Discord, but like they walk out of the fucking they walk out of the first match and they're like, we won that match. OG are like, we won that match. Like
yes,
it
Seb
didn't.
is talking to them.
Yeah, like it didn't quite go the way we wanted, but we fucking won that match. Like they tried their cheese shit and it didn't work, and we won that match, right? Like, and then Liquid walk out on the other side, having actually won the match, and they're like, "Man, we fucked up. Oh man, we fucked up. We got to do better next round." Right? And the fucking mentality difference is literally everything in that fucking final stage. Like, I would be like, if I owned a fucking team trying to make $1 million out of fucking esports, I would be hiring a fucking sports psychologist now, like right now. If I was trying to make any fucking money out of esports, I would be hiring one right now, because the fact that they aren't way more common is already crazy. The fact that most coaches are dudes who happen to be like analysts at most is insane to me. Like, yeah, but yeah, the impact that mentality has on a game is literally laid bare for you in that fucking documentary. That, and I think Philip Morris comes off pretty well. How many fucking Dota players smoke? Do they not understand? Do they like? Is it because they don't have to fucking run anywhere?
I think because they're a European team, maybe. I feel like a lot of Europeans smoke, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Because I don't think it's a common thing, at least
it's fucking dumb
back in Australia anymore.
No,
and not. I don't know about here, but I know like our circle isn't over here, isn't like that either. Maybe it's just bigger in Europe. But just like touching on that a little bit, I don't think the negativity towards like what just happened in that previous match was as big as the last year with LGD. Did you say? I think it was LGD. Where every time they came out of a game, it just seemed like they were at each other's throats all the time about things that went wrong. Whereas Kuroki was at least making things positive and that sort of stuff. There was snippets. Yeah, there was snippets, but like they were losing games and coming out laughing and smiling and basically acting as if it was I think they might have even said it like it's a scrim, or one of the teams said it. And that's what the kind of vibe I got from both teams. It didn't seem like they were playing for $15 million US. It seemed like they were just there to have a good time.
I wonder how much of that is awareness of the cameras.
Right.
Like they know a true sight's going to come out, right? They know that someone's standing next to them, like while they're fucking having their smoke break, and filming them, right? Like there is a permanent awareness. I would love to know some.
You want spy cameras?
I want spy cameras.
There was a scene when the cameraman or camera person was following them, and I saw the bathroom sign, and I'm like, there's no way he's going in there.
We're about to get some Dr. Disrespect up in this bitch.
And he kind of just stops and is like, oh.
Did it seem like they walked? I thought they walked into that bathroom to get away from the camera. I think that's what they were doing.
I think they just want to make sure that they're probably drinking like a bottle of water and eating between every match.
Don't know. Yeah. Still,
the other thing I want to add is it's really good insight to the drafting phase of Dota 2. It's not something that we get a lot of during the match, mainly because they're players and you can't like unexpectedly like show what they're thinking on the screen and
Yeah.
what they're going through. And so that's when we get analysts in to sort of give us an idea of what the teams are thinking. And sometimes, they're correct, but at the same time, we're not getting the players talking about why they're thinking of choosing this. And so you're getting that insight in these documentaries about what we're going to ban and what we're going to pick up and I think they're going to ban this, and the next minute like you see the other team banning a hero out of 130 heroes they could possibly ban, and the other team calls it off the bat like they'll ban this and we'll pick this. Like just how in tune they are with that sort of stuff. But then the surprises,
that was a part of why OG won as well, because I don't know if they framed it this way. Like that's always the chances that they just framed it the way they did.
Yeah.
But OG like called picks so many fucking times, and it did not seem that like Liquid did the same. Like they seemed like they were one step behind in the draft phase at all times. And yeah, I think that had a huge fucking impact. But
it shows you how important that part of the strategy is. Like it's just not about being the best player, but also having the best strategies and going into the game.
Yeah.
The other thing was the like players talking about. There was a moment where someone picked up a diffuser blade. I think it was the gyrocopter.
Yeah.
And the commentator's like, I've never seen this before. Like, what is the point of this? And then you get the storyline of why it pays off. Like, now all of a sudden, you've got these huge, tanky characters that can't do anything because they've got no mana. The purpose of the diffuser blade is to drain mana from a player every time you hit them. And then you're in these long, drawn-out fights where characters are supposed to be able to take this damage, but then they've got no way to get out because all their mana's gone, and then like they can't do anything anymore. So seeing that sort of stuff,
and the reaction to that from the players was pretty fucking huge as well. I'd love to know if, because we didn't really see it from OG side, right, when they bought it.
Yeah, we didn't get that part.
I'd love to know what was going on in the booth at that point, right? Whether or not it was Seb being like, okay, put a diffuser blade on fucking on like get the diffuser. Yeah. Thompson like do this, or if Thompson was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a diffuser blade, and they're like, what
are you doing? Yeah, why? There's no connection between.
I'd love to know who generated that idea. But yeah, the decision, like, it must have been heartbreaking, like not banning IO, and they still thought it was going to be a 4 IO. Like, I didn't understand.
Yeah,
they thought that the whole way through. They thought who they think was going to be on it. I can't remember who OG's 4 is. No. Yeah, and I'm like, but why? Why would it be? That's insane.
Yeah,
you know it's broken. You know what's coming. Like, you know you've lost millions of dollars at this point. Surely you know this. Nobody has an answer for it. Although actually Liquid didn't they? Because was EG tried it on in the lower bracket, maybe. But I can't remember. Someone tried it on and it failed. They shut it down. But yeah, I don't know. So maybe, yeah, I think saying that they were definitely going to lose from that point on is a bit much. But like, in my mind, as soon as they let the IO Anna on the IO, I was like, well, this is over, because we'd seen what it would do, and then in the game itself, OG were perfect at just letting, like baiting them into allowing IO to farm. It was insane. It was crazy how hard a professional esports team bit on what appeared to my extremely fucking like noob eyes like obvious fucking bait. I am not, by any fucking stretch of the imagination, a Dota 2 expert, and I could see what they were attempting to do, just literally only having watched the international for the past week, right? I was like, oh, are they actually just going to let him farm? Are they going to let him farm his way up to fucking 15 or 14 and get the book? Like, that's why would you do that? Why would you not spend your entire game just dunking on the IO? Like, because it is over when he gets to 15 with Agnums. It literally over. Like, there's no stopping them anymore. And yeah, they let it happen. And I guess maybe that's part of why Gyro had the diffusal blade, to sort of like draw the attention away. Like, suddenly Gyro is this giant threat all on his own. Like, if he's in the middle of a fucking fight, they're in a lot of trouble. And so, yeah, they're like desperately trying to do something about that. Like, yeah, I don't know. There's so much going on there. But, like, from my perspective alone, my extremely fucking newbie perspective, I was like, how are you letting this happen? And that was basically what IG were thinking as well. Like, how are they letting us do this? Yeah. Like, this is perfect. This is literally perfect. I think they might have said that a couple of times. Yeah, I don't know. It was very eye opening. My main takeaway is that blonde chick, I can't remember her name. She deserves a pay rise. She deserves all the money she makes, and they all smoke way too much, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, they do, don't they? Yeah. All right, I'll tell you what though, it really made me. I was so close to firing up Dota 2 last night. I've been thinking about it. Like, oh, I should just play a couple games.
I'm gonna play something because I'm not playing PUBG for a little while. I had to take a break from PUBG. I played over the weekend and I tilted so fucking hard. I was just fucking popping off. I was not having a good time, and it just wasn't working. Every time, like, I had to play fucking Sandhawk a bunch. I talked about this last week about not wanting to fucking force everyone to stop playing Sandhawk, but it's so much worse when we've got two teams queuing, because there's the coordination between, like, the coordination of making three other people get the fuck out of a map it's like, you know, socially fucking daunting in and of itself, but like forcing 7 other people to drop out. If you've never listened to us before, you've decided to tune in on episode 500. We play PUBG, and on our Discord, we'll all jump into the same server, and then we will shift out so that there's no collusion, there's no teaming. We actually specifically want to verse one another. That is the dream, is to verse one another. We want to fight one another so that we can then jump back into the channel after everyone's dead and give each other endless amounts of shit. There is no way that we want a team, because the allure of giving each other endless amounts of shit is too great. But yeah, we were playing, and yeah, like, so I just dealt with Sandhawk because I didn't want to make 7 other people. It's so much. It's so fucking. That's too much for me. So I just play Sandhawk, and I just fucking hate it. I hate that map so much. And then we play Karakin, and it is worse than Sandhawk. It is actually worse than Sandhawk, because like the first couple of days, it was everyone landing in the big cities and big city fights and all that kind of shit. And that was fine, and I sort of got it, and yeah. And then the on the weekend, like, it sort of, the meta had evolved to landing outside of the cities and then running in on the people, and it's just non-stop. It is literally a non-stop fucking shit fuck of, like, third party, fourth party, fifth party, sixth party, seventh party. That's not the PUBG experience I want to play. I don't want to play where I never have the opportunity to get a fucking breather. That there's no time to fucking like you don't think about positioning in like Sandhawk or fucking Karrakin because there's no fucking you don't get to fucking dictate where your fights are. Like your fights are on whatever dumb fucking hill you happen to be on at the time when 6 other fucking teams show up. There's no positioning in that situation. There's literally just I guess we're fighting again. Me and my level 1 fucking my half damage level 1 vest and the helmet I picked up off the last corpse are gonna go in this battle with like the fucking UMP I managed to find and a scorpion, and we'll fucking see what we can do again for the fucking 50th time. And yeah, like the idea that PUBG is about like constantly adapting to worse and worse situations is like fundamentally flawed. It's not what PUBG is supposed to be about. Like it's the idea is adapt and survive, but there isn't time to adapt. There is literally like adaptation is not reaction, right? Adaptation is a slow process that actually like involves a steady amount of like concerted effort to change either yourself or your situation, right? That's adaptation, right? Like adaptate when if you like fucking if you go hiking and get lost in the woods, right? You adapt and survive, right? Not by constantly reacting to the next thing. Oh yeah, I'm hiking in the woods and I fall down a hill and then I wake up and I'm lost and I've lost all my stuff, right? Adapting and surviving is not then suddenly I fall into a waterfall, then suddenly I grab on a tree branch, then suddenly the tree branch snaps, then suddenly and me managing to live through all of this. Like living through all of this, that's not adapting. That is literally just luck. That's just fucking embracing the fucking roll of the dice, right? That's fucking insanity. Adapting is and then I made a makeshift shelter because I watched that fucking weird dude who makes YouTube videos of him living out on the fucking land.
Yeah.
And then I caught a fucking possum and then I cooked the possum after I wrung its neck. And then I made do with what I had by using the time afforded to me to actually improve my fucking odds, my path to victory, right? Using the time afforded me. If there's never any time afforded to you to actually improve your path to victory, then you aren't adapting and surviving. You are reacting and surviving. And that's not fucking PUBG. And it drives me fucking bananas that are evidently, not apparently, evidently, PUBG Corp on a fundamental level do not understand the difference.
Well, I think they don't understand their game anymore. Well, I didn't think they've ever really understood it. They've kind of fumbled their way into something that worked, and then we're like, oh, okay.
I think Brendan Green understood it. Brendan Green definitely understood it because what he wanted to make was so divorced from what H1Z1 like wound up being, right? Like sure. H1Z1 was react and survive, and he wanted a game that was adapt and survive, right? And so Erangel, in its first state, PUBG in its first state was adapt and survive, and it embraced the idea of like allowing players to win by hiding in a bush and stuff like that, right? But over time, as he has withdrawn from the day to day, and as other actors have come in with influence on the future of the game, right? They are making decisions based on, I fucking hope, metrics that tell them that it has to be one way or the other, right? I fucking hope that's what they're fucking making their decisions based on. But I've got no reason to fucking believe that it is, except, genuine fucking hope. And I suppose those metrics say tell them that some percentage of people, I have no idea how large this portion percentage is, but some percentage of people desire a game that is more reactive. My gut tells me that that it is driven by streamers. I think streaming a game that is react and survive is more inherently interesting than streaming a game that is adapt and survive. And so what I think is happening is they are continuously attempting to make the game more entertaining for streamers than they are for the regular population, because streamers sell more copies of games. And yeah, I think they've made a faulty, there's a faulty leap in logic there. But I've got obviously this is all me guessing. This is all guesswork. I don't have any fucking information on this. So but this is my guess. My best guess is that's what's happening. But yeah, I've got no way of knowing for sure. Nevertheless, it is disheartening to see how divorced PUBG has become from its original concept.
Yeah.
And I don't want to play. I don't want to play mini royale. I still enjoy.
It should be
myself.
A feature, like an event,
limited time event. Yeah,
what they were doing that at some stage. Or Apex does that, or Call of Duty was doing that. These couple of day events, and have that be on rotation for a couple of days. And if you want to go play that map, hot drop and go to your heart's content. Don't force other people that wanted this slow paced military sort of style game to all of a sudden be playing Call of Duty. Call of Duty Battle Royale wasn't even this quick.
yeah, exactly. And Call of Duty Battle Royale also had a movement system that wasn't clunky as fuck and didn't have me occasionally not jumping out of windows when I can jump out of identical windows, or jumping over railings when I just meant to fucking jump in front of them, or getting stuck on geometry constantly, which happens way too often, or sliding down hills that you should be able to fucking walk up, not sliding down other hills that even though they're identical, all kinds of fucking movement issues that literally are anathema to the concept of a hyper fast paced fucking shooter. It just doesn't work, right? The reason fucking Quake 3 works is because you can fucking bunny hop everywhere and fucking bounce your way around every single fucking map. Nobody's the only time Quake 3 fucks up for me is whenever Heath is playing against me and he starts fucking ducking, because that's not how people are supposed to fucking play. You're supposed to be fucking moving, right? And you're ruining this for me. Unbind the fucking duck key, you fuck. Yeah. In fast-paced games, right? They work when they are designed to be played at a fast pace, and slow-paced games with slow-paced movement do not work when they're designed to be played at a fucking fast pace. Nobody's playing there's no fucking Arma 3 arena shooter, right? There's none of that shit. Arma 3 is played at a slow pace, and so the games that have been popular that have sprung up around it have also played at a slow pace. Unsurprisingly, PUBG is one of those games that took a lot of fucking inspiration from Arma 3, and so it's a slow-paced game. So anyway, fundamental level, I don't want to play Karrakin. I don't want to play Sandhawk. I think if and in OCE, that is half of the fucking games. We don't get to choose. We don't get to choose between mini royale and battle royale, so I'm just not going to play anymore. I don't know what else I'm supposed to do until they solve this problem, and I worry that they can't. And I also worry that maybe they want this to happen because it justifies them turning off more fucking Aussie servers, which it's not like that hasn't happened before. But anyway, I think it's going to exacerbate the server issue even more in OCE, and we're going to wind up with going back to SEA or some shit, and that is the result that they want, which is bullshit.
So my comment about them not really understanding their game or really understanding what they're doing, what I mean there is you look at systems, and I still think Brendan Green was one of those problems there. But you look at like the red zone and how that evolved sort of over the time, and it didn't really evolve that much. They kind of just I guess changed where it drops and when. Like it stops dropping at a certain time, but then also like, oh, we've turned the volume up or down. They've done that so many times. Yeah. But just on like a fundamental level, that system was just never any good. Like it didn't serve any purpose. And he was always pushing that it's to hide your footsteps. Stuff like that, and it's just never worked. But like they're consistently on board with that gameplay design, and they don't want to shift away from it, even though people just do not think it's any good. It's just not like not a good gameplay service. And then so you look at stuff like that, and then other things that have happened in the game, like their inability to combine the competitive scene and the normal scene, like wildly different settings of like, oh, the red zone's not even in the competitive scene, the circle zones are different, the loot's completely different. Like they don't understand that this over here is a better format of the game, but they just can't be bothered putting it into the main game. Like these are rules that are dictated by PUBG Corp. But
I don't know who they're fucking catering to by not adding competitive rules to the competitive rule set.
Well, they're talking about adding a ranked mode into the game. So again, another playlist we're going to have that'll split the community even further, which I don't even know what happens at that stage in Australia or the smaller regions, as they're saying it these days, or even here in North America, where you can't, like, you've got specific map playlists now. Like, do they split the queues again? And then what maps do you get to choose in that list? I just, like, again, that's another area where they fundamentally miss the mark on what they're doing in that game. We never would have had these problems if they did matchmaking properly in the first place, which is why I think they made this game and they just didn't really know. They made a good game and they didn't really know what to do from there. They had no experience running a live service game, and so we got all these issues that they just don't know how to fix and haven't fixed in a long time. Like cheating is still a huge issue in that game. I saw it was Wacky Jackie on like Twitter the other day talking about how there was a dude wall hacking. He's been wall hacking for a really long time by the looks of it. We're talking about seasons, and he reported a guy that didn't get banned, and once he mentioned it on Twitter, the guy got banned for 2 days.
2 days?
He was temporarily suspended for 2 days or something like that. Like that's stuff they need to be on top of. Like cheating is a huge issue in that game, and I just feel like they just stumbled their way into something and have been stumbling the entire way through getting this game into a better spot by not understanding what their audience is. I like, maybe there needs to be a mini royale playlist, or just a fucking separate game. I don't know, mini royale, and just chuck those maps in there. I don't know. It's just
it'd be worth fucking an experiment at least. Do it so that you can actually have some fucking concrete numbers, like so that you can go out on Twitter and be like, look, the reality, we split it into battle royale and mini royale. We did it in OCE, one of our smaller regions, and the reality is mini royale was played 4 times to 1 to battle royale. People want to play mini royale, and I would be like, cool, okay, fair enough. People in Australia are fucking morons, but I guess that's that it is what it is. I will stop playing PUBG.
Because that's not the game you bought, right?
That's not the game I want. Yeah, it's not the game I bought. It's not the game I want to play. That's like, it's fine if it is what other people want to play, but it is one I want to play. So I see the point, right? Like, make more fucking tiny maps, for people who haven't worked out that they can have a far superior experience in Fortnite. Where the movement system is tailor made for the pace of the game.
Fast pace,
fair enough. That's what you want to do. It's what people want, then that's what they want, and I will go find something else. That's fine. For now, I'm just gonna go find something else. At least they would have some sort of fucking metric to say, actually, 2 to 1 people want battle royale games in OCE. They don't want mini royale. So we're gonna put emphasis on battle round. We don't have the numbers to split the playlists for that long with the introduction of ranked, but we are going to de-emphasize the instances of Karakin or Sandhawk, so that you will more likely see Miramar or Aaron. Something like that. You know, it's not like random has to be fucking random all the time. Which, if it is, I've gotten extremely fucking poor fucking rolls because I barely got. I still don't have a good measure on Karakin because I still haven't played it anywhere near as often as I should have, considering how much time I spent playing fucking PUBG over the weekend. But yeah, they got to do something. And yeah, for now, I'm just not going to play it anymore. There's other games. There's not a lot of other games, but there's other games to play. So yeah, fuck it. I'm gonna miss not playing with friends. I'd love it if everyone could switch to fucking Rainbow. We had a really good session of Battlefield 5 on Tuesday. Frisco encouraged everyone to jump on at 8 o'clock and play some fucking Battlefield 5, and we had a good time. The first map was Fjell, and I fucking hated it. I was having the worst fucking
You're like,
time.
I'm back to PUBG.
Oh my god, I'm going fucking back. PUBG actually fucking isn't fucking stuffed by absolute morons. But it is. Anyway, yeah, no, first map, Fjell. I died 10 times, and 7 of them were I was bombed. I died 7 times to being bombed by an airplane. It is the least satisfying way to fucking die. And we got the Fliegerfaust, which is the fucking plane killer. But yeah, it's still like, unless you literally do nothing else but hunt planes, which I did do for a map later on. Unless you only do that, yeah, you're not having a lot of luck, and you're probably still not having a lot of luck on Fjell. It's just a stupid map. But yeah, after that map, we had a fucking grand old time. We fucking ripped shit up.
Did they ever fix the time to kill stuff, or is it still crap?
No, it's still pretty bad, and they're gonna fix it again in the next update. We got no idea as to whether or not that would be good or not, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. My gut tells me they're just gonna nerf the we've spoken about this a billion times before, but they adjust by nerfing. When I truly believe the best way to adjust is, adjust by buffing. Yeah, so if one gun seems overpowered, make the other guns feel overpowered as well, and it will naturally make the other gun, the first gun, not feel overpowered anymore. No, they tend to make every gun feel worse and worse until you just don't want to play any games anymore. Anyway, my gut tells me they're going to do that to the STG-44, and there's a new meta gun that is fucking ridiculous, the KA2 or some shit. It is fucking ridiculous. It is an insane weapon, but yeah, I have to wait and see. That update's coming next week, I think. Had a lot of fun though. Like after that fucking first map, we had a lot of fun. We had one full squad and we had 2 extras. I have a perfect memory of who was playing. So I have a perfect memory of video games, and it was me, Frisco, Nate, Grey Squirrel was there. I want to say JB, Johnny Bravo, and Trig. I would say it was Trig. Probably Trig playing as the 6th person. And yeah, we just had a good fucking time. I think we wrapped up on, what was that big dumb tank map? Do you remember that one? There was a map they released and it was just fucking Tank City.
Don't know the name of it, but yeah.
Yeah. It's a good map.
Still. Yeah.
It's a good fun map. And we just
it's a good map for a map where I do not like I do not like vehicles in that game.
Very surprising because hate vehicles, still enjoy that map. Yeah. Anyway. Good times. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading they're releasing a jungle map.
Oh yeah.
At some
I
stage.
think that's in the 6.2 update.
Yeah. I don't know. Hopefully they fix that time to kill stuff. Basically what they ended up doing was adding an extra, like, I think it was 2 bullets it took for pretty much every weapon to kill somebody, because their justification was that people were not having a good time with the game, and so they were leaving.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
Oh, you dummies. Oh, you goddamn dummies. Oh, my lord. Yeah.
Anyway.
All
right, what else do we have here? Star Trek Online. Let's talk about that quickly.
Okay.
I played a tiny bit of that, mainly because the new TV series was starting up, the Picard TV series on CBS, and I haven't watched it yet, but I'm planning on binging it once all the episodes are out at some stage. But I saw that Star Trek Online was doing some updates and adding certain things in there, so I figured I'd fire that up and check it out. Every once in a while I do jump in and see what's going on in there. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a free-to-play game, or free-to-play MMO. If anyone hasn't played it, set in the Star Trek universe. There are a bunch of different characters you can choose from and sort of play out a story-driven experience with, depending on like what character or what role you pick. And then there's like the other side of it, of the traditional MMO of running around and doing quests and that sort of thing. But there's also the flying ships around and customizing your USS, whatever you call it, which is a really cool, fun part of the game. It's definitely starting to look old, that game. It feels like it could do with a fresh coat of paint, but for the most part, it's a lot of fun. It kind of made me want to jump into Star Wars now, the MMO, because
Oh my lord.
I played a lot of the Star Wars MMO.
Yep.
And then eventually they put
The Old
in
Republic, you mean?
No, the
Galaxies.
Yeah. No, not Star Wars Galaxies. Was it the Old Republic?
The Old Republic. You play fucking tons of the Old Republic, yeah.
Yeah. And they had Australian servers at one stage.
Yep.
And that was really cool. But eventually they got rid of that and then merged the Australian server with the Americas. And the latency was fine, but whatever. But now that I'm in the US, I can fire it up and check that out again. So I've kind of been thinking about checking out Star Wars, The Old Republic again, and playing, I don't know, a different character and seeing how much has been added to that game. So I might do that at some stage. But yeah, is the Star Trek TV series in your?
It was not very start. I don't know. I guess I've never been a huge Star Trek nerd or whatever. I was always been firmly on the side of Star Wars in that debate. But like watch Picard because I like Patrick Stewart. That's enough for me. But yeah, I'm keen to see where it goes. I don't know. I don't have a problem with dropping TV shows I'm not loving these days. Like, I think if I'm not loving a TV series after 3 episodes, generally I'll drop it unless there are extenuating circumstances. The Mandalorian just barely scraped in. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think, there's any obligation to keep. Like, the only reason I watched all the Titans season 1 is because I really wanted to watch Doom Patrol.
Right.
Which was the right move. Doom Patrol's amazing. Titans, not so much, but Doom Patrol's amazing. And I watched like half the first episode of Titans season 2. I'm like, you know what? I'm good, eh?
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel any obligation to continue watching stuff way past it. I quit so many fucking shows halfway through a season or halfway through a fucking episode. Just don't give a fuck anymore. Yeah. Which, I don't know. I think Picard has potential, but I'm waiting for it to really show me that potential. It's only got 2 more episodes to do it.
Right.
But my wife will watch it all, and then she'll tell me what happened. So,
well, you can just read it on Wikipedia.
I'll do the Gavin thing. Watch highlights on YouTube. at 2.5 speed or some shit. Fucking lunatic.
Yeah, and then be like, I don't get it.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why do people like this? Yeah.
So yeah, didn't play a lot of it, but just kind of dabbled in there and was like, yeah, this is still cool. I dig it. I don't kind of know what they limit in terms of the microtransaction stuff. I think it's just like backpack space and locker space and that sort of thing. But from what I understand, it's the majority of the game is still there. So anyway, that was just something that I was like, oh, I might check that out because it's been a couple of years since I've jumped in and had a look at that. So yeah. Next up, we've got... Do you want to talk about The Walking Dead?
Yeah, sure. This is a new VR game, Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners, out now. I'm not a huge Walking Dead fan, if I'm being honest. I enjoyed the comic up until, I think it was like issue, I want to say 70-ish. But this game has been getting fucking spectacular reviews, and I want to, broaden my fucking VR experiences ahead of Alex later this year. So, yeah, I decided to pick it up. It's not fucking cheap. I'll tell you what, it's fucking 56 fucking Australian dollars. But yeah, it's so far I'm enjoying it. I've only played it for about half an hour. But unlike Boneworks, which was doing like fucking 90-minute long fucking levels, so far it seems to have a really good fucking grasp on how long a level should be before it fucking makes you continue without any saves or anything. So, yeah, so that's good. It's a zombie game, I guess. I don't really have the best idea of the breadth of it yet, but yeah, it's got very positive fucking reviews, so people are about it so far. The opening sequence isn't that interesting, I think. You're just sort of stuck listening to exposition for a long time, which I don't think is fantastic. But yeah, it's you go through levels, you look for some loot to upgrade your gear, you kill some zombies, and you're essentially looking for this stash. And you've got a bunch of different quests. It actually reminds me a lot of Zombie U. Remember Zombie U on the Wii U, Ubisoft zombie game, where you sort of play through, and it's almost a roguelike, except I haven't died in this yet, so I'm not sure if it's got any roguelike mechanics or anything like that. But yeah, it is sort of short levels designed to get you to like get in and get out and sort of pick what you need at a moment's notice, and like it really ups the tension in that way. But yeah, I'll have to play it more. I'm actually going to give it probably another hour to get really good, and otherwise I might just fucking Steam refund it. Because it's $56 fucking dollars, and that seems pretty fucking expensive for a I think Boneworks did a lot of stuff that this is doing, but Boneworks did it better. So I feel like at this stage, it's not as good as it could be. The shooting feels a bit weird, is my biggest complaint. Although it does allow you to do the thing where you grab someone's head. And you can stab them in the head with the other hand with the knife, and because you got to kill like the brain of a zombie, you grab them in the head and then fucking do that, and that's pretty cool. I like that, and you can do it like John Wick style, where you fucking grab them and fucking bang, bang, bang up in the fucking on you go. But yeah. Anyway, I'll have to check it out more. I'll probably talk more about it next week because I'll have decided whether or not I'm going to refund it by then. Yeah, it's getting good reviews, so
right.
I decided I'd check it out. Yeah,
awesome. I had a chance to check out Resident Evil 2. This is the remake that came out last year, which did really well in reviews and sales.
Yeah,
and I don't think we ever talked about it on here.
We didn't play it.
No, didn't play it. I had a gift voucher for Humble Bundle or something like that, and it was like $20. They're having a sale. There's a couple of sites having sales at the moment, so I thought I'd pick it up, check it out. I never really... I played a little bit of Resident Evil 2 back in the day on maybe PC. I feel like it would have been. So I don't have a huge connection to the Resident Evil series. I played a little bit of 1, a little bit of 2. 3 I don't think I touched. And then I think the last one I really had a dig at was like 5. That was the one in... it was like a co-op game? Yeah. So I think I might have got a review copy of that one. And and then obviously my favorite one is 7. I really like 7. Except the third act I think is a bit weird. But I really like what they did with that game. And so don't have a huge connection with the series at all, but a lot of people seem to like that new one that came out last year, and I checked it out at E3 as well, and was really surprised by at that stage what they were doing with that game. So went and had a look. Anyway, so I think it's a really cool game. What I like about it is it's not like a remastered version where they just up the graphics and that's it. Like, they've gone in and basically redesigned the game. It's no longer like static cameras. It's behind the shoulder cameras. They've updated the controls. All the visuals are outstanding. Like, they look really good. The animations. They're changing like gameplay elements and the way sort of things work in the game. The way that the zombies interact with the characters. Things like crawling over desks and that sort of stuff. And really brought it into like it makes it feel like it's a game that was released today, or like this generation, as opposed to what games have done in the past when they've done remakes of like a visual upgrade from whatever it was back then to like 10. It's a HD upgrade. Now you can run it at 1080p, but the graphics are still sort of the same. So we've got like those types of games, and then the other ones are the ones where they do like visual overhauls. The one that comes to mind is, I guess, like the Age of Empires games that they've done recently, where they've done like a really big graphics overhaul, or like the Monkey Island stuff, where the LucasArts games where they redo all the visuals in that, or the Day of the Tentacle, things like that. And then we've now got this other generation of games that Capcom seems to be doing, like going through their old library and being like, all right, well, we're going to do a giant overhaul. We're going to redesign all the game mechanics. Like, it's going to make it feel up to date. Remake. Yeah.
A proper remake.
Yeah, and I think it's a really cool idea. And I think it works really well in this case. For the most part, it still feels a little bit old in terms of like its game element, like the gameplay elements of like going and fetching this specific thing. Like, it feels a little bit outdated in terms of that stuff. But for the most part, it works pretty well. It looks outstanding. The writing definitely feels outdated. The acting, the voice acting is cheesy, I would call it. It doesn't really hit it doesn't seem like it's going for anything spectacular. It just seems like it's dumb. And but it's the tension is there. I don't know if this is something specifically in this version, but like, there is a map you can pull up and it tells you where all the objectives are and where there are items in a room that you've not picked up. Like, it'll mark it on that location. I feel like that was probably not a thing that was in the original game, or maybe they're just awesome game designers and they thought of these things that long ago. But like, just stuff like that where they've really paid a lot of attention to what games are doing these days. And put that in there is really awesome. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. The only thing that I don't like about these games are the micromanaging of resources. Like, I don't have enough stuff to put in my my backpack. Like, what do I do now? And as someone who's not really played a lot of those games, I really didn't know what I was supposed to do with some of that stuff. And I know 7 had a bit of that in there as well, like managing how much stuff you could carry. But I'm sort of getting by. I'm like running to my chest, and I'll put all the stuff in the chest and be like, I'll come back to that later, and then trying to figure out like crafting materials and that sort of thing. But for the most part, it seems like a really cool game. I don't think I would have praised it as much as it got. It was up for Game of the Year nominations.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think it's a good game.
I think there's an emotional component
Yeah,
to these remakes
it's a nostalgia thing.
that I think heightens the reaction people have, both positive and negative, as we'll soon explore. I think that for people who found Resident Evil to be a formative experience, a formative gaming experience, it would make sense if they saw it transformed into something that brought what they loved to a new generation. I could see it getting a 10, maybe. What I played didn't like. I played Resident Evil 2 back in the day, and formed an attachment to the series, especially Resident Evil 2. When I played the preview session, I wasn't that blown away, if I'm being honest, but I have thought about going back and playing it a couple of times. Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's kind of what this game brings, is I've just talked about going back and playing Star Trek Online, or we'll talk about the next game I'm going to talk about, like being able to go back and play those games, but in a modern... There's obviously people that want to go back and play the original, there's that sort of experience, but also the people that want to play it and then look at that game and go, oh yeah, this is exactly how I remember, but it's not. It's definitely not how you remember it. Your brain's just tricking you. And that's what I had. That's the experience that I had when I played at E3 that year. I was very confused because I think they announced it there. We had a meeting with them, and I played it, and I was talking to the person that was covering or handling the game, and I was like, is this a remake or is it a brand new game? Because it feels like, I feel like I've played this before. And oh no, it's not really a remake. It's not a remaster. It's like a reimagining. And I'm like, oh, okay. And once they explained it to me, I was like, that's a really cool concept. I think that's awesome. And so I think it works really well. It's just, for me, I wouldn't put it in the Game of the Year category. I think it's a great game, but
I think just going back and recalling the storytelling, I don't know how it could be a Game of the Year if it's largely kept the storytelling the same, because that was fucking... You were doing a lot of the work. You were fucking meeting them more than halfway on that story. You're like, yeah, it's scary because dogs will jump at you through fucking windows and shit. Not because the world's worst voice actor called in from a payphone to deliver his fucking lines while he's sitting in some fucking room somewhere. From that perspective, I'm surprised that they didn't improve that to a significant degree, because it would basically, I don't know, perhaps you need the cheese to keep it Resident Evil 2, but I think Resident Evil 7 took itself quite seriously, to the extent that it maintained the spirit of Resident Evil in that B movie stuff, while still delivering fantastic storytelling and acting through the that kitchen scene and all that kind of stuff. So
my only criticism about it, and this will be a running theme for today's podcast, is the price of the game. I think is too high. I think regularly it's a $55 game, which is a full price game. I got it on sale for $20 US, so I think that's a great price right there for that.
It's fucking $90 on Steam. 90 Australian.
Yeah, that's insane. I think Humble Bundle might still have the sale on. But but I picked it up for 20. And there's I don't recall, but there are like these. There's like a separate bonus mode or something like that where there's these side stories that you can play. I don't know if they were in the original, but they're part of the game and they're time-based missions. I've not checked them out yet, but I just saw them in the menu because it says there's story spoilers if you've not completed the original.
I can't remember. Obviously, I remember everything about video games perfectly, but I cannot recall if that was something that they borrowed from Nemesis from Resident Evil 3. Yeah. They bled into Resident Evil 2, like sort of back backdated. I don't know, or if it was in Resident Evil 2. I certainly don't recall it being in Resident Evil 2. But that said, with my perfect memory for video games, I only remember the parts that I played. So. And Kleb wasn't there.
The other thing I looked up was like how long the game is.
Oh yeah.
And I use howlongtobeat.com quite a bit when I'm either checking out a game or like if I'm not, I don't know, I'll just like look at that to see what the average is, and the average for completion of that game was 8 hours. I've put a bunch of time into this game already, and I'm like, I feel like the people that are putting these times in here are the people that have played the original and know how to fucking run through that game and like
pound through it.
Power through it, because I
8 hours doesn't scan with the experience I remember either. Like no fucking way. We spent way longer than 8 hours playing that game.
Because I got to a point yesterday where I got stuck a little bit. I was running around, wasn't really sure what to do, and I looked up a walkthrough. And where I was in the walkthrough compared to the rest of the game, I was like, oh, I've got a ways to go. I've put a bunch of time into this already. Like, it is not an 8-hour game. Because there's 2 characters you can play. There's, I'm going to say split them up into
maybe they're doing each character's playthrough or something like that. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway, I was just like, thanks. I'm a filthy casual because I've not played the original. Therefore, it's not an 8-hour game. Anyway, it's great. Yeah, if you can get it for $20 and you haven't checked it out, or you've played the original and you're not too sure, I would highly recommend it because I'm digging it. I'm really enjoying it so far. So the next game we'll move on to is Warcraft III Reforged. There, that's a tongue twister. Warcraft III Reforged. This came out yesterday, and it is a remastered version of 2003.
If we
I think it was.
We were very careful to define Resident Evil as a remake.
Yeah,
this is a remaster at best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your sort of connection with Warcraft 3? Were you or Warcraft in general? I guess Warcraft RTS series. Sorry.
I actually did not get into Warcraft 3 that much. Because I played fuck out of Warcraft 1, fuck out of Warcraft 2, but by the time Warcraft 3 came along, I was either playing StarCraft, which I significantly preferred, or I was playing one of the Command & Conquers. I think the orcs and humans thing, I didn't care that much about the story, and so it came down to the unit fighting, and so I played through Warcraft 3 mostly because my housemate at the time bought it for my computer. He didn't have a computer of his own, but he desperately wanted to play Warcraft 3, so he bought it for me so that he could play it, which I felt seemed like a fair enough trade-off. And yeah, he played through it in its entirety on my PC, and then I played through it, just the campaign, obviously, but I played through the campaign. Just see, so that when he wouldn't shut the fuck up about it, we could have a conversation. But it didn't really stick with me, which is why when it came down to picking between the 2 big MMOs that were coming out, World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XI, I was like, well, I don't think Warcraft 3 was all that good. So I'm probably going to go with Final Fantasy 11, which was
a mistake.
Dumb. My God, what a fucking moron. Yeah. So yeah, that was a goof on my part. But yeah. Anyway, that'd be. Nevertheless, I did play Warcraft 3 back in the day. I mostly played it as for custom games, largely for custom games. It was primarily a tower defense, like at the LAN cafe where I worked. Every computer had it, obviously, and people would come in, but exclusively play custom games. There was no multiplayer. People weren't playing versus multiplayer or co-op multiplayer or the campaign. They were playing custom games nonstop. And yeah, that was custom games were fucking entertaining as balls. I don't think StarCraft had anywhere near as robust a custom game like scene. And at the time, you know, back in the early part of this century, mods were fucking everything. Every amazing thing that was happening in video games was coming out of mods. And as it eventually happened, most of the amazing things that happened in video games came out of mods for Warcraft 3 in general. I mean, Dota. I think auto chess originally. I mean, I know auto chess was a Dota 2 mod, but I believe there was a version. There was a version of auto chess, the Pokemon defense. I think right. Tower defense obviously has dominated mobile games for ages and non-mobile games for ages. Like, yeah, mods of Warcraft 3 have fundamentally changed how we experience video games. So my connection to Warcraft 3 is almost purely through how it was modded. What about you? Were you a Warcraft 3 nerd?
I played a lot of Warcraft and Warcraft 2, or Warcraft Orcs and Humans, as it was called. And Warcraft 3 for me was a weird one. I definitely played it, but I didn't get as attached to those other two games. I think the big reasoning behind that is they really were trying to think of ways to move the genre forward. And the one way they were doing that was by introducing these hero characters and giving them abilities and spells, and kind of, this is the thing you need to protect, and like the story is going to revolve around these hero characters. It's something we saw them do with StarCraft as well. But it was just fundamentally a different way of playing that game. Like, I was used to playing RTS games of like build all your units and just go stomp the computer with what you were, what you're sort of locked behind in this wall. It just didn't, I don't know, just didn't grab me as much as those other games. Maybe it was just a sign of where RTS games were going. Because they haven't really... I feel like StarCraft was probably one of the last big ones. StarCraft 2 at least was one of the last big ones that really grabbed me and was like, I put a lot of time into this. And since then, we've seen RTSs have evolved from an RTS to a MOBAs, I guess, is kind of the way it's gone.
Or that has RTT, like company heroes, real-time tactic.
Yeah, and so that's kind of where that genre has gone. And so I definitely played it, and it just didn't connect with me as much as like the previous games, like your Command and Conquers and stuff like that. Purely, I think, just because tastes evolve, and that genre just wasn't really finding a good way to push the genre forward at all. So yeah. Anyway, Warcraft 3 Reforged has brought that game up into today by giving it a bit of a graphics overhaul. But for the most part, they haven't really touched a lot of the mechanics or anything like that. It's, they tightened up things in relation to tutorials and some of the way like the quest system works and whatnot. For the most part, it's the original game. I managed to play through about 5 missions. Oh, the prologue I got through the entire prologue, so it's about 5 missions all up.
Yep.
And yeah, I'm digging it for the moment.
Yeah.
Like it plays like Warcraft 3, how you'd expect it to play.
Pretty much. Yeah, I haven't played all of the prologue yet, but yeah, I'm in the prologue, and yeah, man. I like the nostalgia trip. The fucking trip down memory lane, rather. Like it works in that sense.
Yeah.
I hate the pacing of the fucking story. Oh my lord, everything was so much fucking slower back then. Like everything, there's all these fucking unnecessary pauses and fucking like giant fucking stretches of just dead air where you're like, what the fuck? We just fucking we get it. Let's go. I don't need to fucking see walking places. Like, just fucking, you're there. Like, it's moving magic, motherfuckers. I get this engine, but just fucking chop ahead.
Yeah.
Christ.
Michael Bay this shit.
Right? Like, yeah. Let's see the J.J. Abrams T-Ross cut of this fucking goddamn movie. This cutscene, goddammit. I want 6 movies. Oh, yeah. J.J. could have put fucking 6 movies in this space of time. Anyway, yeah. Like, it takes its time. But, and yeah. I think the cutscenes themselves, I'm absolutely not seeing what they're fucking remastered about any of this shit. I shared a link on Facebook earlier of a comparison video, and it's pretty damning. But once you're in the game itself, that doesn't feel like it's that big a problem to me.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't really come across. It actually actively, I think, looks better than it used to. I wouldn't say it looks good, but it looks good enough, and like it looks like a 2020 version of a 15-year-old game, or 16 or 17, however fucking old it is, year-old game.
I'm gonna disagree with you there.
Okay, go on.
No, I think the cutscenes, the CGI cutscene, the first one is redone. Looks outstanding. And then it's kind of jarring when you get into the in-game, like the story cutscenes.
Oh, those are the ones I'm talking about. Absolutely.
Those ones are old. But then like not the in-game cutscenes, the CGI cutscenes. Then the in-game ones have been redone. Camera angles and that sort of stuff has been changed up. I've seen some YouTube videos going around about the game being downgraded. To me, it feels a little bit like Puddlegate, because I don't see the downgrades. What I'm seeing is just different camera angles at that point.
Right.
Like, other than the UI on the actual HUD that has been changed, like, I'm not seeing any differences in terms of how the game looks. Like, the actual character models have definitely been overhauled. They look great.
And textures in the, like, on the ground and stuff.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm having issues with it. To me, it feels like it doesn't feel like a 2020 game. It feels like a 2008 game. I feel like StarCraft looks better than StarCraft 2 is a better visual. The visual art style, I think, looks better.
Yeah, right.
Than this game does. And I think that is in large part to the textures on the ground, and like the trees in particular stand out so much. They just look like old trees. And so I think they kind of got halfway there in terms of the look of it. You've got character models that look pretty decent, but then the bits around it, like the world and stuff, just to me could have punched it a lot further, I feel like. You look at what Age of Empires did with the definitive edition or version, I can't remember what it's called, last year, and how they just overhauled all that stuff. That looks spectacular. And then you just go back and look at screenshots of StarCraft 2 from 2008 and how that game, like the visual style of that game compared to this, I feel like I'd choose that over what this game looks like. And then the other thing that's really jarring to me is the animations. I feel like they haven't done a good job with the animations of the heroes. They're very
I don't like the animations a lot.
They're very what's the word? Like
They remind me of Terminator
stuttering?
1. Yeah. Stop motiony, right?
Yeah.
Like they remind me literally of Terminator 1, where they're like fucking there's no fluidity in between the frames of their movement, which is very odd, I think. Not all of them, but some of them they stand out.
Yeah.
Which is enough. It's that's the problem, right? It's not all of the animations that are bad, and that itself makes the ones that are
stand out,
look worse. Yeah.
And so because I'm running the game I've jacked it up to 1440p. I've got it running at all the high settings, 144 frames it's capped at, and so like moving around the screen looks smooth. Like clicking the mouse, it looks smooth, but it's just when the characters move around, it's just really stuttery. Like it feels like the characters are running at like 20 frames, but everything else is running at 144. I tried doing some stuff like dropping down the frame rate to 60 to see that'd fix it, but still looks really bad. Not bad, but just looks off-putting. And so I wish they would. I just feel like a lot of people are kind of disappointed because they thought it was going to be a lot more than what it was. But it's not. Yeah. It's kind of just like they've done their graphics overhaul and made it a bit better. Like it's definitely better, but I feel like they went halfway. They didn't go the full way. They could have really killed it and made it look outstanding, and they didn't do that. But for the most part, like it plays like Warcraft 3. I've definitely gotten upset with the pathing in the game so many times because I'm like, man, these are like some of the parts you guys could have gone in and fixed. Like do the thing where you can see the issues and try and fix them a little bit. You grab a bunch of units and I'm like trying to get them into a spot, and then I'll click on my hero character and then move him somewhere, but he can't get out because he's surrounded by all my units. And I'm like, just make my units move. Like let them understand that my unit is trying to get out of there, and so have them scatter or something, but it just doesn't work. So just small bits like that I wish they could have focused some time into, but for the most part it feels like Warcraft 3 to me. Which brings me to my next point is I think the price point again is too high. It's too high for this game at least. I think it needs to be dropped maybe $15 around there. Bring it down a tad.
What's it cost? How much is it?
I don't actually know. I think I looked at it yesterday. There's two versions of it.
$44.95 is what it is in Australian dollars.
Yeah, I think 30 would be a good price point.
30, 15. I don't know. It's an old game. It feels like an old game. Like
I feel like 30 to 20 is a good spot.
I don't think it looks like an old game, but it feels like an old game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It is too expensive.
It does have its expansion as well. I guess there's another price point.
Sure.
I did see a story going around today that Blizzard updated the terms and conditions in there so that they own custom games now.
That's pretty fucked, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's not on. That's kind of indefensible, really. I mean, I guess I get where they're coming from. They don't want to, how many, like I said earlier, the games we play now are defined by mods from Warcraft 3, and does Blizzard make anything out of that?
Or even just mods in general, like Counter-Strike and the Dota stuff, Battle Royale. Like these are the most popular games people are playing these days have spawned from mods.
I just think this is the wrong way to go about it. You should be like there's a different fucking tack you could take here. There is play the actively advertise the custom games. It's not like people aren't I think Defense of the Ancient games still go on in Warcraft 3 to this day. You could be like, get Warcraft 3 Reforged and play the original Dota or something like that. Like collaborate with these map creators and advertise their stuff and use that as a marketing tool, not fucking actively attempt to drive away any desire map creators have to use your fucking game as a platform for map creation, because that's fucking insane, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's basically Skyrim trying to make people pay for mods all over again. It's a little bit different, but it is in like the same vein, anti-consumer and a, in my opinion, terrible way to fucking go about it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when Dota 2 was being updated, like they would update the original Dota as well at the same time. Like, that stuff can't happen anymore with the new changes they're making here. But anyway. Yeah, I mean, it might be fun to jump in at some stage, find out who else is playing this, get some multiplayer games going.
Once the online starts to work, because it was taking fucking ages. The servers were getting slammed yesterday when I was trying to play. It took me fucking, I don't know, I get stuck on the initial screen where it's like play offline or cancel or something. I got stuck on that screen for like 5 minutes. But play offline was grayed out, so I couldn't. Otherwise, I would have just fucking selected that. So I couldn't select that, so I just had to fucking. I just let it sit there and walked away. And then when I came back, it was in. I'm like, ooh, that's not good. But yeah, once the servers stop getting destroyed, if other people already have it, be good to have a game. Otherwise, we'll play some custom games. Find a tower defense map or something.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Go old school.
So yeah, I think for the most part, I dig it. It's just slightly a bit too expensive, I feel like.
Too expensive, yep.
And I would have just liked to see them really push the graphics on it. I mean, they're not bad. They brought them up to a date where people can still play it, and it looks good. But it would have been sick to see them just really bring it up to a new notch. And I'm wondering if that's because they don't want to, I don't know, sort of maybe outpace what's going on in World of Warcraft. But at the same time, like they've done better stuff in like Heroes of the Storm. Like they've brought those characters to life in that game. So I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, like it makes me wonder what would a Warcraft 4 look like, or would there ever be a Warcraft 4? Would it be a different game?
Yeah, what would that even look like? I reckon it'd be way closer to MOBA than RTS.
Right.
Almost like Dawn of War 2's very hero-centric style of play.
Yeah. Or like a Battle Royale Warcraft.
Battle Royale.
That might be pretty cool, like hero abilities and that sort of stuff.
Terrible idea.
I would do
Terrible
it.
idea.
I'd play it. You would as well. Probably. Anyway, that's Warcraft 3 Reforged down now.
Nice.
The next one is it's a new game, one that we've not played before.
Yeah.
Journey to the Savage Planet, which just came out this week as well. We both got keys, which is very helpful. And man, this is a hard game to describe. It's kind of pulling from a lot of different areas. So it's out on consoles and PC. I thought it was going to be like a survival game. Just reading up on it, because I really didn't know a lot about it to begin with. But it kind of plays a lot more like a linear game where you're collecting materials with some like Metroidvania elements in there mixed in.
Yeah.
So
it's very Metroidvania.
Yeah, you're a member of this like travel agency, the fourth best travel agency in the universe, who is going out and exploring planets, and you land on this planet which is supposed to be uninhabited, and it turns out there's life on there, and so you're given a mission to go and explore it and do research and investigate what's going on this planet, and off you go. You kind of figure out like what is going on here, and so you start off and you go into the world, and you begin harvesting materials. There's things like carbon and silicon and these different elements that you can go and gather. And once you get them, you can craft materials like a weapon, or upgrades to weapons, and it kind of spirals down a long list of different gadgets and things you can build, and then that allows you to get into different areas of the game. There are things like creatures in the world that you can scan. You can also kill them, which gets you other types of rare materials. And it's kind of like a Pokemon game at the same time. Like you gotta scan all the little creatures that are going around and collect them, and you get points to like research abilities, and that kind of unlocks different areas of your skill tree that you can upgrade other gadgets with. And then there's like this goo stuff that you can pick up. There's like 100 of them spread throughout the entire world, and once you get a certain amount of them, that kind of levels you up, and you end up getting more health and more stamina, which allows you to run quicker or run further without tiring, or take more hit damage. And so there's like this progression system in the game that lets you level up as well. And so that's kind of like where, like, I thought it was going to be a survival game, like The Forest or Subnautica is probably a good example, but it's really not like that at all. It feels very much like inspired by games like Portal, I guess, would be one game, because like the humor is very in that direction. But was this the game you were expecting?
Not at all. No, I was very much expecting some sort of survival game, and that's not to say that I haven't enjoyed what I got instead. It just wasn't. It came out a bit out of left field.
I think that's the case for most people.
I
didn't mention it's made by who made Alex Hutchinson, who worked on was it Far Cry?
Far Cry, yeah.
Far Cry, and a bunch of other games, but
and
this
is
like
Australian.
Brand new studio. They've made this their first game.
So. And there's a lot of Australianisms in it. I don't know if you noticed. There's a very Australian vibe to a lot of the fucking. Not a lot of swearing. When I say there's a lot of Australianisms in it, I do not mean there's a lot of swearing, or they drop the C-bomb a lot. Although I did watch fucking the True History of the Kelly Gang, and that movie has. They say cunt more in that movie than we do on this podcast.
Journey to the Savage Planet.
Surprising, and when I say we, I mean me. But anyway, it was they dropped a C-bomb a fuck ton. Anyway, so Journey to the Savage Planet, yeah, Australianisms, like just weird little like I don't know, like colloquialisms that for some reason involve Australian animals or something. Like, oh, that's faster than a koala up a gum tree or something. Like, that's not exactly one they say, but like
koalas are very slow.
Yes, but like they refer to Australian animals more than a few times, and like there's an Australian flavor. There's like that. The music that plays has that Australian vibe to it. I can't remember what the fucking instrument's called, or the fucking Rolf Harris Thunderboard and all that kind of shit.
It's just cardboard, I think.
All right. Anyway, and like boomerangs in background and stuff like that. Like, yeah, like there's an Australian vibe to it, which I find mildly interesting. I think the sense of humor is a little bit weird, like tonally weird, because the game itself feels like it's aimed at children, right? Like it feels like a game that is made for kids, like
it's the Simpsons thing, right?
Castlevania, Metrovania, but the sense of humor is like at times extremely adult. Like, like I said, there's no swearing, but like
the ads in your spaceship, things like that.
Like here's an amorphous blob that you can call up to have sex with and shit. Like a little odd, and like when you first get on the planet and you find one of those orange goos, they go on like a minute-long spiel about edibles, and it's like, okay, I get this sense of humor, right? But would the people you're trying to make this game for get this? Like, am I the people that you're trying to make this game for?
Yeah.
I don't fully understand, because if I am, why is this so fucking easy? Because it is spectacularly easy. The only times I die are when I fall off things, and there are large sections of the game where you don't even die when you do that.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very forgiving.
It's super forgiving, and yeah, like I'm confused by that. If anything, that said, I'm enjoying myself. There's something very zen about it, right? Like, there's something very zen about just going in a direction and doing your thing, doing whatever it is your current objective is. Be it, I don't know, trying to fall 50 meters and then jump at the last second to save yourself to upgrade something or other, or finding all the parts for a crystal, or like just little things that you're vaguely trying to do, because the threats in the game aren't real.
Very minimal. There's like, I mean, most of the game revolves around platforming. There's a couple of things that do fight you, but for the most part, everything's pretty friendly.
And the things that do fight you are generally very easy to dismiss of. Like, it just feels kind of nice to play.
It's very bright and visual. Like, it's very colorful.
Colorful.
The like creatures are very like it's like literally the first one you come across, the puffy ball things, like making these like adorable like cat sounds or something.
And you scan them, and it's like, oh, puffy ball lives in the forest here. Also, it loves you, and like, you shoot it. And then you fucking blast it away. Or I needed to shoot 5 things while they're in midair.
I like slapping them.
Slapped it into the air and then shot it. It's odd.
Or there's those little things that like run around and scream when you shoot them, and they multiply. They're cool.
But yeah, I just I'm going through it, and I don't know. I'm enjoying myself. Like, I'm very much enjoying myself. It's just I think for me to really like it, it would need to be significantly harder. Because I never feel like, I don't know, I got to a unlock, like a secret. Actually, I've had like secret nearby show up a couple of times, and I have no idea what the fuck it's talking about. But I got to one of those flowers that holds one of the upgrade balls. I found one of those, and to get to it, I felt like that was the only time I felt like I had actually done some shit. Was I had to throw one of the bouncy goo pads down, and then I had to use my super jump. I had to prep my super jump and then walk forward into the bouncy goo thing and then jump at the same time, so that I get a super bounce, and then I could grapple on and get up to the thing that I need to get to. That was the only time I felt like I actually had to do any real puzzle solving. The rest of the time, it's been pretty fucking, like, even the puzzles themselves have been like very simplistic. As long as you explore, like, you will solve puzzles simply by exploration. There isn't any challenge there. I think that is a bit of a missed opportunity. Like, it sort of turns everything into an inevitability, as opposed to something that you have to strive towards. And it takes away some of the enjoyment from the game. I mean, like I said, it makes it quite a zen experience, which I think I need when I'm fucking tilting my balls off PUBG or whatever the fuck. But at the same time, I want to be fucking challenged at least somewhat. And it's only happened really once. The rest of the time, I die from falling off shit, basically. And it'll be dying. Like, one time I died because I threw one of those grapple point onto the purple things, like the grapple seed onto the purple things, and it somehow spawned on the wrong side of the grapple vine or whatever the fuck it's called.
Right, like
so
inside
it wasn't.
out.
Yeah, it's spawned inside out, and so when I jumped, I had to double jump to get to the point where I could grapple to it, and so I double jumped over, and then the grapple thing never showed up because it was facing the wrong way, and so I just fucking died. I'm like, all right then, I guess that one's on me. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, the other time I died was I jumped. I was getting it like the first time you run into those spinny dog things.
Yeah.
I killed it, and then I was trying to get some of the loot that it drops, some of the resources that it drops.
Sure.
And someone was right next to this waterfall, and I walked into the waterfall, and it turned out there was nothing underneath the waterfall. Like, it was just water falling, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I deserve this one. The water has to fall somewhere, so it makes sense that it would fall, off a ledge. And I guess it makes sense that I wouldn't necessarily be able to see the ledge through the water. So yeah, those are my two deaths so far.
I only died twice the entire game.
All right, challenge set.
No, I'm just saying it's not like it's not a challenge.
Yeah.
Like I think the first time again I died because I didn't really know. I think I ran towards like one of those explodey puffy ball things and just aggroed it somehow.
Oh yeah, right, yeah.
And the other time was I was platforming through some like lava and stuff. I got to the end, and then all these creatures spawned that shoot you, and there was like 10 of them, and I immediately died. And I was like, okay, I clearly need to take that bit a bit slower this time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, but you get like you get the double jump, but then you get like 3 jumps, and then you get like 4 jumps, and so some of those trickier puzzles do get a bit easier, and then you get like a scanning ability that shows you where the nearby secrets are or the goo that can level up, and so you end up just like powering through. It's like, all right, there's one in here, I'll just grab that quickly, and you get so much health at one point where it's just like nothing is challenging. But yeah, there's
already not challenging. But,
No, I mean the most challenging part is the platforming. Like it's
but I really like first person platform.
Yeah.
I only just unlocked the rail slide grapple thing.
Oh yeah, you're probably pretty close to the end.
Oh really? No. Okay, fair enough. I haven't got triple jump or anything.
Well, that stuff is locked behind the research abilities and that sort of stuff. But I think there's like one more planet, or one more teleporter
hub area.
Yeah, one more hub area.
Right.
That you get to, and then that's kind of the end area. But yeah, the rail. I think the rail is one of the last power ups you get.
Right.
Well, there's maybe like the grabbing acid balls, and you've got that stuff already. The grabbing acid balls and
the
fire ones. Okay,
I got the fire one. Yeah. It seems like the rest of it is like upgrading my dude to do more stuff or whatever. But
yeah. It sounds like you're getting pretty close. Like you maybe 2 hours left or something like that. It's not a super long game.
Right.
It's pretty short. Like 8-9 hours. I think my playtime, I can check quickly. It says I've played like 7-8 hours.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think it comes together in the end. Like the story, right. I think it doesn't pay off at all, which is a bit disappointing. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. I think there's a couple of things it could have. I'll criticize it for. I don't like there's no way to switch off the music. Really annoying.
Right.
In the options menu, because I would have liked to have. It's a game where I'll put it on and I'll put the basketball on, or I'll listen to a podcast or something like that. Like I can read the subtitles because it's got subtitles. So I wish there was a way to turn the music off, because there isn't, and so I turned the actual entirety of the audio down so I could listen to stuff, because sometimes the music just ramps up all of a sudden when you're in a fight or something like that. The other thing is it's very repetitive in terms of its creatures in the world. Those puffle ball things are everywhere. Like, you get to a new area and it's all of a sudden it's the same thing. Like, it's the same creature. They've just given it a different name. Like, this one lives in a cave.
A cave.
Yeah. Well, this one has a slight variant on what it normally does, but for the most part, it's not going to fight you because it's not aggressive. So there's, I just wish there was more variety in the creature design, or like what you would sort of discover in the world. Because I think the environments are very different. Like, you come across a lot of things you can scan, and they look very different, but you get to like the snow area and like, here's these creatures and they look exactly the same as the ones in the jungle area. They're just slightly a different color or something like that. Like, this one's purple, but this one over here is blue. So wish they would have thought up some extra creatures. The other thing is the co-op. I don't know why it's in there at this stage. Which is another reason why I thought it was going to be a survival game, because they said, it's got co-op, and I thought, okay, cool. And then you start playing it, and you're like, this is very linear. Like, I don't really know what having an extra person in the game would do for me. And then also, how do they manage that? Like, are you tethered to the other player and where they are in the world, or can they just kind of run off and do their own thing? Like, can you speed run it with two people? I don't know what that game looks like, but I don't think the co-op adds anything interesting, at least. So, because I was keen to play with you co-op, until they told us that like co-op isn't working at the moment, and it wouldn't be running until the game went live. And so I thought, well, the game is going live at a time when I won't get enough time to play this before the podcast goes up. So I just thought I'd play it, and then I started playing. I was like, I don't know why this game needs co-op. So, and maybe that's why it wasn't live at the time of launch, because it just wasn't ready yet. I don't know. Anyway, they'll still patch and stuff. But yeah, again, it's another game I think is a tad too expensive. And while we're on that subject, it's going for $30 US at the moment, which
for
would
a
be
hyperlinear 6-hour-long game or 7-hour-long game. That's
from start to finish. I mean, there's definitely like a completionist run where you can go through and get all the upgrades and that sort of stuff, which will definitely take you a lot longer. But
you can trust that with Superland, which I feel is extremely similar.
Yeah.
In terms of tone, at the very least, which took me, I think it was 20 hours, and it was $20. It's quite there's quite the clash there.
Yeah. So I do think it's a slightly bit too expensive again. So it's 30 US, 45 Australian. Maybe knock $15 off that.
You just like knocking $15 off.
It's like a $20 to $30 price.
Knock 2 zeros off that.
Yeah, if they let me bargain, like, for these games, then that'd be interesting. But it seems to have done pretty well critically, I guess. It's run at like a 75-ish.
People enjoy themselves. One thing I didn't like that you didn't mention is the UI. I hate the fucking... Oh my god. Why do I have to press enter and backspace? Yeah. That's fucking dumb. Get the fuck out of here.
I think that's a PC issue. It's probably not like that on consoles, but yeah.
Definitely feels like PC was a bit of an afterthought.
The amount of time that that's the first time I died. I accidentally hit escape instead of backspace, and then I hit exit to menu, and the game quit, and I was like, oh fuck. Okay. And then when I went back in, my gear was left on the ground. Because I think it spawned me back on the ship, but I had to go pick it up again. So I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that UI is terrible.
Yeah, I had it.
They need to fix that.
Yes.
Anyway, anything else to add?
No, not really. I would 100% get it on sale. It is a very good distraction. and it served as a very good distraction, a very nice, gentle distraction over the course of a pretty shitty week. And yeah, just the only other thing is it sort of reminds me of how much I fucking love Superland. If you haven't played Superland and you are interested in this, are interested in a Metroidvania, you should play Superland. Yeah.
All right, I think I should get on that at some stage.
Yeah, you
see if these sales are still running. All right, all right, that's everything. A lot of old stuff that's new.
Yep.
But it's mainly new stuff. All right, should we do some news?
Let's do it.
First one we've got here is the Terminator Ghost Recon Breakpoint event has now started. This is running until February 6th. So there's going to be 2 missions. One of them is out now, and then the second one will be dropping in a couple days. This will be where players in the game will be able to go up against T-800s from the Terminator series.
Right.
Famously, Ghost Recon Wildlands did some DLC with the Predator, and that ended up making it Game of the Year for us after we did Game of the Year, but it still snuck in there because it was fantastic. And this is another one that I'm kind of looking forward to. I'm thinking about firing this up to check it out.
Right. Such a big install.
Oh, you deleted it, did you?
Yeah.
Right. Maybe I should check it out.
Okay. You let me know.
And then let you know.
Okay.
Because
the Predator one was fucking amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. It seems like it's just a limited time thing, from what I am reading here. So
right.
Disappointing. I think the Predator one was like it's in there, right?
Yeah, I don't think it ever got taken out. Oh well. I don't know why everyone loves their limited time events.
Or Ubisoft. I think it's tied to the DVD. Sorry, not the DVD. The digital release. I think it just released on digital. Terminator 5, 4. I can't even remember what it's called. The bad one that just came out.
I think it's 6.
6?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
It is.
All right.
Terminator 1, Terminator 2, Terminator 3, Salvation, Genesis, whatever the fuck. Yeah, 6.
6. Dark Fate. There you go.
Dark Fate. When they release a new terrible Terminator movie, I'll be able to remember the name of Dark Fate.
Shouldn't they call the 8th one being Terminator. Dark Fate with an 8 in there?
Oh, that's what they should have done. They missed an opportunity.
It's the Fast and Furious marketing team. All right. Next up is Dead Cells, the Bad Seed DLC. I think you know about this one.
Yeah, they're releasing DLC. It's coming out real soon. Fucking, I had this before. Sorry, on the page. There it is. February 11th. So 2-ish weeks. I'm excited. It's going to be $5. I think you'll get 10% off if you already own Dead Cells. So that'll make it even cheaper still. Adds new enemies, new locations, new weapons. I believe they're outside of the DLC. They're also reworking the 3 most hated weapons. So I assume the sandals are getting something done to them. So that'll be good. Encourage people. They're buffing. Apparently they're buffing. So they're doing what I was talking about before, the method of, improving everything else by buffing the worst things, or balancing by buffing, which is cool. I think I'm going to go back and play all the Dead Cells when this comes out, because it's been a while, and I love Dead Cells. So yeah, I'm excited.
Nice.
Yep. You gonna get into some Dead Cells again? No?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Played a lot of Dead Cells.
Yeah.
All right, next up is Apex Legends Season 4. We got some news about that, which is pretty big. So they did a live stream the other day where they talked about what was going to be coming out. In particular, map changes, which will could change. So that'll be coming to World's Edge, which is the new map. They talked about some of the changes in the rank system, which will be coming. I won't dive too much into that because I don't know about it. A new legend called Forge, who is a melee-based like wrestler or some sort of like fighting character within the universe of Titanfall. Anyway, so they announced him, but then their Twitter account has been posting these weird updates, and they did like a video. They've been doing a lot of like character videos and trying to build up the world and what. And they had this video of this reporter interviewing this new character, and then another character came up and like stabbed Forge in the back, and the idea is that this character has been killed already before he's been released.
Right.
And that's where we're at with that. So we don't really know what's going to happen with whether or not Forge is actually going to end up in the game, or if this other mysterious character has killed that character already, and that's actually going to be the real character. Basically, like, Apex Legends had a bunch of leaks in relation to heroes that are coming out, and it seems like people don't really know what's going on at the moment, but I think it's an interesting way of introducing this stuff. I think the new character, well, the one that's being teased that we haven't seen before is Revenant, and that's like some sort of assassin style legend that might show up in the game. So I'm keen to see where they take this. I'm liking the world building stuff they've done in the past with like blowing up the map and just doing crazy stuff like that. So I'm keen to see what they do this time around with these characters. It sounds like they're having a lot of fun with it.
Might be time for if I'm just not gonna play PUBG, man, I just embrace the fucking react and survive lifestyle and play some more Apex. Again, I really didn't like World's Edge as a map, which I think was the biggest turn off for me at the end of the day. So if they're making some changes to that, maybe I'll check it out. Yeah. What about you? You gonna jump back in?
For sure. Like, they talked about how they've destroyed like one of the big cities in there in World's Edge, so don't really know what that'll look like, but should be fun. Should be fun to check out. I'm definitely keen to see when that's going ahead. I don't know if there's a date yet. February 4th, so next week, probably about the time we record this, we should know what's happening.
Cool.
Until then, they'll keep releasing teaser updates and that sort of stuff. So, we should be on top of that by then. Anyway, I think that is everything. It is everything. That's the news. Not a lot, but we do what we can.
Yep.
We got some questions. We did get an email as well. Do you have access to the email?
You don't have access.
Do you have access to the email?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you've got it.
I got the email. Let's do the email. We didn't get any questions on Discord. We got one on email. It's very weird, but we're doing it anyway. Paul writes, Joab Gilroy laments that Death Stranding not given Game of the Year. That's the title. Hello, Luke and Joab. Question 1. Joab, whose dog did you run over? Over the years... Wait, what? Over the years, you've reported on each of the Magic the Gathering card set releases. This hasn't happened in the last 12 months. There have been at least 4 releases, and Magic the Gathering Arena has moved from beta to full release, now available on Epic Games Store. Were your invitations lost in the mail? I think they were, actually, if I'm being frank. Over the same period, you have poured both love and hate on Hearthstone. I tried Hearthstone, but the RNG nature of it really annoyed me. Playing card games, RNG is always an element, but you cannot determine where attacks are going. Yeah, I assume if you cannot. But if you cannot determine where attacks are going, then I'm out. Opens the box. Were the rewards for covering these events not there? closes the box. Look out. There's a lot of questions.
Should we answer that?
We'll wait till we get to question 2, I suppose, and we'll break it down. As you may have gathered, I do enjoy the odd game of Magic. Not so much a fan of the physical card game, but I enjoy the accessibility and convenience of the online versions. Okay, so let's break it down. Whose dog did I run over? I don't think I ran over any dogs. I did hit a hitchhiker once, but
We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. Okay. Were our invitations lost in the mail? I think they actually were. Yeah, we stopped getting invited to the releases, the release preview events, and so
they kept inviting streamers and stuff.
Yeah, they wanted to have streamers along.
Because streamers don't really stream Magic. I don't know.
I've never seen
game.
That,
at least we could talk about it. It's weird,
right? Yeah. So I think our invitations were actually lost in the mail, and so what are you gonna do? We stopped talking about it. So to address the third question, were the rewards for covering these events not there? We literally just weren't invited to the event, so we don't need rewards to cover an event. We just need an invite, and they just didn't happen. So I guess we couldn't do it, which is unfortunate. And then the other question. Oh no, it wasn't a question. It was Hearthstone, playing card games. If you cannot determine where your attacks are going, then I'm out. You should check out Legends of Runeterra, which I didn't talk about this week because I'm still pretty fucking new at it. I don't really have a good grasp on it, so I don't really want to talk about it just yet. But I'm still very much in the learning phase. But it's like interesting. It's free and it's available in open beta right now, so it's definitely worth checking out. But you did like it's very Magic. It's very much closer to Magic than it is Hearthstone, in my opinion. But with all League of Legends style tweaks and stuff. Anyway, question 2. Since you have both been lamenting about the dearth of games to play and Magic the Gathering Arena has had a full release, I was interested on both of your opinions on the translation of the card game into the free-to-play online space. How does the game run for you? How does Magic the Gathering Arena play on a Surface? That is a fantastic question. I've not played it on a Surface, but I should check it out. Actually, I played it when it first hit closed beta. I believe I got into the closed beta really early, and I played it then, and I did not like it at that point, and so I never went back to it, which is, I think, always a bit of a tough one for the old closed beta. If you if it doesn't gel with you immediately, and there's no incentive for you to continue playing to test it, which in my case is, we obviously use closed betas as demos sometimes. I send feedback when I feel I have relevant feedback to send, but I'm not sitting there like some sort of fucking paid beta tester, helping them fucking QA their game. If a beta doesn't grab me immediately, then I'll usually just slip off straight away. But I should probably check it out again if I'm checking out Legends of Runeterra, because I haven't. Now that I've finished Slay the Spire with every character, I'm interested in playing a new card game. I've got Legends of Runeterra, but check out Magic the Gathering Arena as well. Luke, have you ever played Arena?
Not Arena.
You don't really go for card games, do you?
I played a lot of the Magic the Gathering stuff.
Yeah.
Jewels of the Planeswalkers.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, back when Junglist was on, right? Because he was trying to get us to play that as well.
Really good introduction to the series because it taught you, like, very early on how to use, like, all your cards and hey, this is a red deck, and there's how this deck composition sort of works, and now you can start experimenting with like red black, and did a lot of like tutorial work and like a campaign. So I checked out those two, and there was another one that came out later on that eventually got updated a second time. I think it was just called Magic. And yeah, I never got around to Arena. I get emails about it all the time. I've just downloaded the client, so we can talk about it next week. I'll check it out.
Okay, fair enough. And I'll grab the client as well. We can check it out. You should get Legends Ruin Terror as well. We'll compare it. Feedback. Rebel Galaxy Outlaw. I have enjoyed the game. This is that game that came out on Epic Game Store a little while ago. That space game, I think.
Yep.
They have added a tutorial since you tried. Yep, that's a good plan. But I didn't have any problems in learning the basics, as I had watched various play demonstration videos before purchasing the game. My only complaint is, as an open world game, you sometimes end up in no-win fights where you are severely overmatched and you have no escape options. Regards, Paul. I guess that's, I don't think that's the worst thing to happen in a open world game. I think I always generally appreciate it when it does happen, because it makes the game feel more open. Like, I'm thinking about running into death claws in fucking Fallout, right? You're like, oh, okay, well, I can't go that way just yet. But I appreciate it that it lets you go in that direction anyway. Yeah. I could go back and try it, I guess, but I'm not that enthusiastic about it. I don't know. I just had such a bad first initial experience with it. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for the email, Paul. It was fucking comprehensive. I enjoyed that. There was a lot to it. Yeah, thanks for writing in. Thanks for actually emailing as well.
Was there anything in Discord? No.
No.
All right.
So yeah, that is that.
That is the show for the most part.
The podcast. Yeah.
You can find The Gap or the GA podcast on iTunes, Android, Windows Store, Spotify, everywhere that you can find podcasts these days. Please, if you've got a couple of seconds, just rate and review the show. Helps other people find it. You can email us, thegapodcast@gmail.com, just like Paul, and send us any questions if you'd like to. You can also find us on Discord, thegapodcast.com/Discord. You can jump in and chat about all sorts of things on there, or play some Battlefield with Joab, since he's not playing PUBG anymore. He's done. I think he uninstalled it, he said.
I didn't know.
He didn't? Okay.
No. I haven't gone that far yet.
Yet. There's still time.
Yes.
You can also find us on social media, facebook.com/GA podcast, twitter.com/GA podcast. We've got a YouTube page, which is thegapodcast.com/YouTube. You can also go to our website, which is thegapodcast.com. It's got links to everything we just talked about, including past episodes of the show if you want to check them out. And that website is run by our Patreon members. If you want to help support this show, you can go to patreon.com/GA podcast. Thank you to everybody that becomes a subscriber every month for that. And most recently, Matt S. has become a Patreon member. So thank you to Matt for doing that.
Thanks, Matt. Yes.
And so we actually did a spoiler cast for Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, last week, which went up a little bit earlier for Patreon members. But it's gone up today for our regular listeners. And it's something we'd like to do more of. So hopefully we can do that in the future, like whether it's video game related or movies or films, TV shows, comic books. I don't know, like anything we can kind of talk about in depth and in detail. We'd love to start doing those again. So that's all possible thanks to Patreon members that help do that.
And that one was inspired by Spec TV.
Was.
Yes, which check out. Anyway.
Had a couple of minor issues with the audio of that one. Hopefully it's turned out okay.
Right.
For whatever reason, Nate's recording that he sent to us came out of sync at some stage. or it was recorded at a different speed or something like that. And so by the time we finished, it was completely out of sync, and I had to try and fix it up, and it was a pain. I think I got most of it, but it's it was a nightmare. It was a nightmare trying to. I was like, did something happen at some stage, and maybe it just cut out for a moment, and that's all. Maybe that's what happened, and it happened multiple times, but it was a giant pain. Anyway, we got there eventually. So if it does sound like we're talking over the top of each other, maybe we are, but for the most part, because we're dealing with latency over recording, so sometimes like we're not responding as quickly as what we would as if we were in live with each other. Because we wait for that to come back. But when there's 3 people on there, it's even harder, and then you've got audio issues like this, and it just becomes a huge nightmare trying to, but hopefully it's all sorted out. That was a lot of fun. I went for about 3 hours 20 minutes. We talked about the new film, the older films, what we thought of that, and then went right into detail about what we thought of the film in general, and spoilers galore. So if you have seen Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and you want to have a conversation about it, hear our thoughts, and jump in and have a listen, and then leave your thoughts in maybe the Discord. Jump into the movie channel. Let us know what you think. We'll check it out. So that was a lot of fun.
Yep.
I don't know. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I had a good time. That was a fun chat.
Yep.
Delving deep into the how Babu Frick came to be was extremely interesting.
It's great.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
That is it. You can find me at social media such as twitter.com/Luke Lawrie. You're on there as well. Joby Jojo.
Joby Jojo. Yes.
Anything else you'd like to talk about before we wrap it up?
No.
That's it.
That's about it.
All right,
we'll see you next week.
See you. Bye.